Thank you for watching In Any Arena. If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, let's get into it. 700 to 800 million dollars.
Yup.
Are you
Crazy.
kidding me?
We talked
Are
about it a
you
few weeks
kidding me?
ago. We talked about it.
It's
We knew it was coming. We knew it was
you
coming.
know, I think the biggest thing is it's hard to look at situations from like a vantage point of like where you are currently. But I
Mhm.
think the biggest thing is that from our vantage point, like that's such a big deal. From Tiger Woods' vantage point of being an athlete, one of the few athletes to amass $1 billion while they're still playing the sport, is not that big of a deal. And so I think it's a political thing. Like with Tiger Woods, with all the scandals that he's had in recent years, kind of
Said, "Give me
like being
14. Give me 14
exposed
of them."
being exposed in that regard, the last
Mhm.
thing he wants to do is to get entangled with a
And boy, he was
with
tangled up.
with a PGA foe. This is
Mhm.
becoming like a big thing with folks talking about how Live Golf, or like who Live Golf is backed by, and it being a political thing. You even seen Charles Barkley, who's being offered a substantial amount potentially to
Mm.
do the same thing that he's doing with NBA tonight over on the Live Golf side and commentate. And Charles
Didn't know
Barkley being
that.
a golfer himself, yeah. So, and people are talking about where's the money coming from. Charles Barkley spoke out and kind of said, let's not play that game because there are a lot of businesses where we could dig into where's the money originating, where's the money coming from. So it's interesting. I think that again, Tiger Woods being where he is right now, he doesn't want to do anything that could really tarnish the legacy any more than he already has. He's still chasing majors as
But why
well.
but why but why would him coming over from the PGA Tour to live impact hit tarnish his legacy? Like, how would that impact
In
his
in many
legacy?
in many ways, Tiger Woods is still one of the biggest names in golf.
Oh,
And
100%.
I
I
think
agree.
I think it would be a domino effect. If you see Tiger go over, you see a
Mhm.
lot of other guys that are on the fence and thinking about it say, "All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
I
go."
don't oof. That's a tough argument to have because you gotta think about it. I think it was like a few years ago, you know, you had people that many years ago when Tiger was in his prime, people used to be intimidated by him. But now when you
Right.
interview cats, they're just saying Tiger Woods, just another name on the sheet. I respect who he is and who he was, but he's a shell of himself now. So I have nothing to
Yeah.
be frightened about. This guy is still a top elite golfer and plays the game at a very high level, but just due to injuries and age, I think it's really has been a detriment to his game. So to that point, with Tiger, he has to be thinking, what is next? What is the next move for me? The $700 million is a very compelling amount, if you ask me. I don't think Tiger Woods is technically a billionaire on paper. I'm not 100% sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. He
I'm
has
not
over
sure
a
either.
billion dollars. He's amassed over $1 billion in career earnings, and sponsorships and such. But if I were Tiger, I would even take a step back and ask myself, is there opportunity for ownership? We think about generational wealth. Tiger has enough money to provide generations to come after him, many, 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 many generations from now. But what else can you provide to your future or your subsequent generations, right? And so being able to own something is really what not just most people are looking to do, but also the black athlete. So you think about LeBron James wanting to own the NBA team, wanting to establish a team in Las Vegas. He's thinking long term, he's thinking ownership. He doesn't want just a stake in something, or he just doesn't everything LeBron James does, Billy Dollar James, he's thinking, how can I make it mine? So to that point, even though he declined the 700 million, why not propose some ownership in Live Golf and then take it from there? So what are your thoughts on that, JT?
I think I think that a lot of it is just again the scrutiny and the potential impact to the brand that he's created. Like again, Tiger was this straight and narrow guy, never really involved in any scandals. I mean, I don't know if behind the scenes, um, guys knew like, oh, Tiger, Tiger, he,
Sports
he's
team, they knew, man.
yeah. I mean, I think guys might have had an idea. Maybe they didn't like really know that Tiger was, on a different type of time. But I think it's hard,
Like
mentally
demon.
to to take the different hits on your brand, bro. Like this is bigger than just a money play. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's more of, you know, it's a lot of controversy behind it. Um, and there have been a lot of guys, whether it's Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, a lot of guys who have joined in. But, you know, a lot of those guys took a lot of criticism, and Tiger Woods has openly criticized some of those guys. But again, I think we can't pick and choose. So people
Mm,
want to talk about human rights in Saudi Arabia, but people still support, businesses that today were built on, dollars from the slave trade and things of that
mhm,
sort, with no problem, with no question about how some of these large, multi-million, multi-billion dollar companies got to where they are. And if we were to dig it up on some of them, then people would just be like, hey, it is what it is. So I think too many times people, especially in our nation, are really critical when it comes to other nations that they feel like have committed atrocities. And a lot of times have no issue or no problem with, some of the things that we've done or been a part of as our past as a nation. So I think people are making it more political than what it needs to be in terms of who backs Live Golf, and not thinking about, from a golfer standpoint, guaranteed money is a pretty cool thing. I mean, 700, 800 million just to join and play. I mean, why not? But I think again, we have these sanctities that have
mm,
become a part of the US. The NBA is our basketball league, the NFL is our football league, and you've seen the XFL, USFL, and many leagues try to sprout up, but they can't compete. They don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the support, in terms of what some of these, teams in the NFL have. And so any
mhm,
threat to that feels in some ways un-American. And I think that
mm.
that's like what it is today with Live Golf.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the beauty of golf in general is that you don't have to really be the PGA Tour is a well established tour, right? Many
Mhm.
of years, but it's not their model is very archaic, and it doesn't really align with the other leagues that we have in other sports, such as the NFL and the NBA, MLB. So even the National Soccer League. So you think about that, I feel like golfers are their own entity. Like they're truly their own entity.
Similar to tennis players.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Right.
Mhm.
So having just that third party like a PGA or Live just facilitate the event, and you come and show up, you have your earnings your sponsors that donate, so you can have that larger grand prize for when you win the event. I think if the right people are in place for Live Golf and they can continue to ride this wave and shake up the marketplace, I really can foresee um, Tiger revisiting the conversation conversations with Liv and possibly making that transition over and considering a ownership stake. I think
Mhm.
ownership should be Tiger's top priority. His legacy has already been made. Like Tiger will go down as a top 3 golfer of all time. Let's make that abundantly clear. So what's next for him? If he has the appetite for ownership, I think this is a prime opportunity for him to take advantage of that, get in early, and leave his mark that way as well. So being a top golfer, and having that ownership component, it'll be very difficult to say that Tiger would not. It'll be difficult to say that Tiger is not one of the most influential golf players of all time if he's able to pull that off. So that's just my 2 cents about the whole opportunity for him to join the Live Tour. Unfortunately, he didn't take the 700 million, but I still think there's an opportunity where he can come in and try to get some ownership stake and leave another legacy.